We are recording the video. Now let's start. It's the Mike Tech Show, show number 794. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Mike Smith. Thank you very much for downloading and subscribing to the show. Please visit the main website at miketechshow.com. You can email questions and suggestions for show topics at miketechshow@gmail.com. You can leave a voicemail message on Skype. The name is Mike Tech Show, all one word. And follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Mike Tech Show, and also facebook.com/Mike Tech Show. This show is brought to you by Instant House Call, robust remote support for IT pros and MSPs, providing unattended and on-demand remote access. Try it free by clicking on the link on my website at miketechshow.com, right on the left-hand side. Use the promo code MikeTechShow for your free 15-day trial. And remember, you can go directly to instanthousecall.com. Remember, right now, there's a new Amazon link, and I'm actually going to be changing it, just shorten it. It's the same. This is my son Ryan's link that he never uses, and I've sort of taken that over. So right now, to support the Mike Tech Show, the best way you can do that, buy from Amazon. Please replace any existing links you have with the link now. On the left-hand side, there's a big banner, and also throughout the show notes of the last week or two, the show notes, that Amazon link is great. I really appreciate your help. It's going to take a long time for this Amazon link to take off and to start sort of starting over again, and I really appreciate your support and your help with that. Okay. So Thursday night, could not do the show because there was just so much work that I want to go into some of the projects and some of the things from in the trenches, all the work I got going on right now. And then I have some emails with some follow-ups to some questions I had. And so great batch of email. So let's get started with the projects. The first, there are so many computers, well, actually all this together, in our lower living room that you could hardly navigate going through because there are piles of computers all set up for different clients for this week. An example. So Monday, my son has 2 computers, and he has them with him because he'll leave right from his house. In the Center City, Philadelphia, we're replacing 2 systems. And these are all Optiplexes. That's great. Tuesday morning, the dental office, they are squeezing so many computers that they have some people working remote. So we are KVM 2 computers, and they had 2 older systems that we revamped, added some RAM, and they didn't want to buy new computers. And I get it for what they're going to be using it for. So we have a KVM, a surge strip, and a small network switch that's gigabit, and we're going to combine at 2 different locations 2 computers because they're out of space, and they need these systems for people to remote in, and they already have another one like that. This is such a small office now for the dental office. They have outgrown it. This is computer 15 and 16, and if you've seen this building, and I said there were 16 computers in it, you would say, that's impossible. They have outgrown it. The main dentist is looking for another location. I can't wait because then it's time for real server. We already been talking about this. 30 new computers, and there's going to be 16 exam rooms. This is going to be just a massive project. I can't wait. And we're going to still connect both offices via an SD-WAN between the 2. So that'll be great stories to talk about networking. Anyway, so that's don't have dates yet on that, but That's a pile of computers. Now, another pile, couple systems for my memorabilia warehouse client that sells sports memorabilia, and he's got a big warehouse, and he's got another couple computers that he's bringing on some bodies. Glad to see people hiring and coming back to work. It's very nice. What else? There are now, for a special project, there are 4 systems, and behind me, I even have the box. I'm still finishing up a Microsoft Surface Pro. And you know what's interesting, and I should really post up the notes for this. If you have a Windows 10 OEM key and you want to upgrade from Home to Pro, and I use this all the time. Let's say I buy a computer that has to have Windows 10 Pro, but it comes with Windows 10 Home. This happened to me on 2 new systems last week. And this is our process. When you know it's home and you're starting up and you have that initial sign in, don't connect it to the internet. Leave it disconnected, because home will force you to log in with a Microsoft ID. So now you get the option, oh, you don't have internet, offline. Don't even connect it to your Wi-Fi. Now we go forward and we create a local account with no internet. Now I activate the internet, whether it's an Ethernet plug or get it on the Wi-Fi. Once that's done, I check to make sure it activated as Windows 10 Home. Maybe do some updates. Then I use the generic Windows 10 Pro key. This is a known generic key that Microsoft recognizes, but you got to do the following. So I change the product key for Windows 10. I put that temporary key in. It does a couple things, and right before you click start, you disconnect the internet. You disconnect whether it's Wi-Fi or you pull the plug from the Ethernet. You'll get an error, but it will finish the upgrade. Now, once you reboot, activate the internet, and it will fail its activation. That's okay, because now you got a Windows 10 OEM key, almost any key that's legitimate. You put that in, it'll activate, and you're good for Windows 10 Pro. I know it sounds like a lot, but you can actually do this very quickly, but it saves you a ton of money moving from Home to Pro. A lot of keys won't let you go directly from Home to Pro. So that's a little process that will make that work. So I had to do that on a couple systems. The amount of hardware and deliveries that have been coming here has just been insane. There are still other systems for some end users. There's a couple residential computers where they run a business out of their house and they need it. We went from an all-in-one to now a new Optiplex desktop. We have that. Right now we have labels on piles of computers and different equipment. So I still have the untangle issue that I got to try to put that back in another dental office. And right now I had to make sure Comcast is stable. And so far it looks good. And as long as the Comcast modem and everything's stable, we have that. We got to get scheduled. So my son next week is just multiple places getting all of this done while I staff the office here and the phones and keep everything going. One of the things I ran into, one of my clients insists upon using Office 2010, even though there's no more security updates. I've told him everything. Doesn't want to spend the money. He owns the Office 2010 licenses. So one of these new systems, we installed Office 2010. But every time it was trying to update, it would fail. So I have a link. This is the first link for tonight. How to fix Windows Update error 0x 1-800-70643. This is what I kept getting. So now one of the recommendations was to run SFC/scan now. Okay, I ran that. It actually found some files that it said it had to replace, reboot it, tried to do the updates, no joy. I went through an update repair, no joy. But remember, this isn't a Windows 10 update. The Windows 10 updates come in no problem. It's specific to Office 2010. And I noticed it kept failing on Service Pack 2. Okay, no problem. Let's download Service Pack 2. Did not. Again, it didn't work, and it failed. So I uninstalled Office. Now remember, we had just installed it. I uninstalled Office. Then checked for updates, and I noticed 21H1 appeared. I let it do 21H1. Then I reinstalled Office 2010, doing the same process I had done an hour prior. Updates worked. So I don't know what got corrupt or what happened on the Office 2010. Now, this link also references that legacy older software sometimes have update problems on Windows 10. And, sometimes it's just better uninstall the product. Oh, I did try a repair of Office 2010. It did not work also. So I had a stack of things trying to fix that. And later, we're going to talk about Windows 10 updates via some responses from listeners. And I have the two systems that I've been having problems with Windows 10 updates. Tonight, I'm actually going to try those recommendations. So now, this was, I guess, not strange, but I was so shocked at just how difficult it was to add a public folder calendar on an Exchange hosted with Outlook 365. I have a client that needs, for a special project, a public folder calendar that's going to be shared across users that are in that address book for that Exchange hosted server. In order to do this, you have to go to the ellipse with the three dots, open up for folders. Then, once you get the public folders there, you have to keep drilling down to the public calendar that I created and set the permissions. But in order to get it to appear anywhere, to appear in your calendars, and the only way this will appear on Outlook Web Access, you got to do this from Outlook, because I tried it on Outlook Web Access and I couldn't. You have to right click and pick Add to Favorites. Then you'll get a pop-up to add the calendar name to Favorites. Now, it doesn't go to Favorites. What it does is it actually adds it to the calendar section. So now I have to do that for the calendar. Now, I have two users that need to share this that do not have Outlook. They only go to Outlook Web Access. In order to make this work, I had to create a profile for them on my Outlook, get it loaded, and do that process. Then when I went to Outlook Web Access for both users, it appeared. So just a little pain, and just something, since I had to deal with this, I wanted to share, and maybe this will save some frustration for you if you run into this. All right. Fixes for the Windows 10 updates. And this is email. Let's see. This, give me a second here. I paused. I don't know who this is from. He didn't sign it. I just have his email. We'll just say Cons1. Okay. That's what I was looking for here. All right. This email, I'm not sure who it's from, because it's not signed and there's no email name. It's just generic. but ultra virus killer fix for Windows updates. Now, I did not try that specific fix. I don't know if it's doing anything else than the whole manual process, but I am installing ultra virus killer tonight on 2 systems, and I'm going to try this. I am also going to try another recommendation, and this is from Jason Miller. You know, the text, this happens to me where I can't read, I got to open up Outlook to read. I save these. You know what? Let's change. Hold on. I think if I have my Adobe Acrobat. There we go. I have my Adobe Acrobat as all dark. I can't do that right now. So, I just launched Outlook. I just closed it. Okay, here we go. I think this will work now. So, updates not working. This is from Jason. Mike, you mentioned on your show that updates were not working on 2 systems. Sometimes it's more than just Windows Update causing this. We use Windows all-in-one repair utility. I have talked about that so many times in the past. It's slipped my mind. Just check pretty much everything but the Windows Store and let it go. This usually fixes any weird or oddball issues. I usually try and fix things without doing this, but at last-ditch effort, it's usually a great tool to fix things. You can get the tool at tweaking.com. That will be a big link in the show notes because I've used tweaking.com a lot, and he's right. I'm just going to check everything and let it rip. First, I'm going to do the UVK and just try that Windows repair. I have nothing to lose. That's a quick try. If that doesn't work, then I'm going to pull out the big gun with the all-in-one Windows repair. The next step is going to be nuke and pave, and I don't want to do that. I mean, I'm really trying to avoid that, especially because this one computer is out in Maine, so it's pretty far away, and I don't want to have to blow away Windows like that remotely and restore everything. So hoping I'll be able to fix this. This is from Bob, who actually gave me a couple things to try. He says, go to an elevated command prompt and type control system. Then select advanced system settings. Then select user profiles. Delete all unknown accounts. Then try the update. Again, I have nothing to lose to try this. So I thank everybody. I thank Bob, Jason, and Cons for sending me all these suggestions because I'm now armed and ready. And both clients, I have instructed they're going to leave their systems on tonight for me. And I am going to try that, and I'll report next week if this works, or if it doesn't, I will keep you updated. But it's very frustrating that, especially using the Windows Update Assistant, that it goes through that whole process and doesn't work. It undoes itself, goes back to the older version, and then comes up and you're back where you started and you didn't get an update. And one system, it's very weird. One, I'm not getting any updates. The other one, I'm getting some updates, but not all of them. It's amazing, just the problems that we have with the Windows updates, and just crazy. Couple announcements for next week. I have a project that could take me overnight, Thursday night, Friday night, and I won't be returning to Saturday. So because the timing, I don't know if this is going to happen. Then the show will be next Wednesday night, not next Thursday. So keep an eye, follow me on Twitter and Facebook, and I will let you know what's going down with the times for the shows. I am so wiped out because you know my love for music, and it was so nice yesterday to be back at a concert. And even though the pandemic is still spiking and rolling, it was mandatory to wear masks while you were inside the venue at Citizens Bank Park. But unfortunately, only 15% wore masks. Now, I'm fully vaccinated, and so is my son. But we wore our masks because I don't want to catch something from somebody, because people who are vaccinated can get infected. So, and I'm a high risk. So I made sure, we wore our masks, and not eating or drinking, of course you take it off, but we had such a great time. I was with all three of my sons and my oldest son's wife, and we had a great little tailgate going over at Lincoln Financial Field parking lot, where we were under the solar panels, so while it was still raining a little bit. Now, I made a decision to not bring our ponchos, and what happened? It wasn't supposed to rain last night. The concert, a long concert, started at 5:30 p.m. with the Interrupters. Then there was Weezer, then Fall Out Boy, then Green Day to close it out. And it was like three major concerts all in a row, and we were wiped. And then Fall Out Boy, we got to see from sort of inside at the Hall of Fame Club. I was lucky that I had seats. I kind of bought these tickets, over 2 years ago. They announced this tour a couple years ago, a year in advance of when it was supposed to happen, and it was canceled last August. And it was just the bottom line, 17 months of no concerts, and we got to go last night, had a tremendous time. It was raining, and we were getting soaking wet during Green Day, but halfway through it stopped raining, so that was nice. We just had a tremendous time, and I am so wore out, but in a good way. Had so much fun, and it was nice to get a little bit of normalcy back with going to concert, and I'm looking forward to going to more, but I'm afraid there's, lots of things happening, and I don't know if that's going to, I don't even know if that tour is going to finish off because of the spikes for everything with this new variant. And I don't know. I just wanted to mention what I've been going through, all the work, and it was nice to take Friday yesterday and play and have fun. And I needed that desperately, and so did my oldest son. All of us did. And now it's back to the real world and back to work, and I have a ton of work tonight. Those two systems I'm going to work on. I have someone with an Outlook problem I got to contact. Oh, I have someone that's going to be picking up a Dell microcomputer that they bought from Woot. And this is a nice system. It was a Core i7 that's only like 2 generations old, 32 gigs of RAM, and a terabyte SSD. This system has always been slow. Since day one, after he bought this and we were transferring, and this is for a financial advisor, when we were transferring the data, slow. Thursday morning, he tried to turned on his computer, never to boot again. It would go to automatic repair. It would try. I could not navigate to even go to a system restore point. The drive was bad. This is a solid state drive, a very off brand that whoever this was coming from Woot. And that was it. Now, I even tried putting putting a new SSD in, and it was too slow. Like, this system should not be. There is a hardware problem. Rather than mess around, I said, look, I'm putting the old hard drive back, and I called him. I said, can you get your money back? He is getting a full refund from Woot. And that's great because Woot's an Amazon company, and that's really nice to know. Yes, it's inconvenient, but we have everything backed up. That's not a problem. So I said, look, go to Dell.com. Get the microcomputer, brand new. Get the 3-year pro support for the warranty. So this way you're never going to have a problem. There are certain businesses, well, not certain, but if you're a business, I want you to have the full warranty for your system. It's the only way. I am not a hardware company. I don't stock parts for everything. So I want, as best I can, the manufacturer's warranty. So, one other story before I wrap. I want a big shout out to listener Andres, who brought me a client in South Florida that we have agreed on the contract this past week, and I'm onboarding them next week and doing that all remote. And I thank you so much for doing that. And also, I have the same thing going on with Don in Ohio, who did the same thing months and months ago, brought us 2 clients in Ohio that he's the on-site feet on the street if there's a problem. We take care of everything remote. I even did the email migration that I talked about weeks ago. And that is great. If you, no matter where you are in the country listening to this, if you are in that situation where maybe I can help you out with some remote monitoring and taking care of what I can remote, and even if there is a hardware issue or something, we'll walk you through working on it. So don't be afraid to take on certain clients. Reach out first to me, and we'll have a conference call and discuss it, and let's see how things are working. See if I can be of help. I mean, you can make money, I can make money, and it's just a great way. And I'm looking forward to supporting this company. At some point, they're near Marvin B, and I know I'll be able to eventually visit them the next time I go down to visit Marv or do something down in South Florida. I'll be able to meet them in person. I don't know if that's ever going to happen in Ohio. The project would have to be big enough, I guess, for me to go out. But you don't have to anymore today. You have instant house call. You have the remote access to be able to do everything you want. I have my Synchro RMM that helps me manage all the systems. So just wanted to share some of those things. Thank you, everybody, for your continued support. And, of course, please, Instant House Call. Man, can't live without it. Love it. Just go to instanthousecall.com. Give it a try. Amazon. Please use the same link. Photo Ray in the chat just said he used a new link to buy a new gaming build. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. And then, of course, what do we do for transferring? All next week, my son's going to be living in Fabs Auto Backup Pro, which is to transfer all the data and settings from one system to all these new systems that we're putting out there. So can't live without those programs. That is it for this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Everybody, please just stay safe and have a good week, and hope to see you back here next week. Bye-bye, everybody.